All right, we're now recording, and I'm gonna share my screen with you. Okay, now I think everybody, if anyone have any questions, you can put it in the text, or if not, unmute yourself and ask a question. But like right now, I'm gonna ask you to mute yourself so we can hear from you. And we're gonna proceed. Welcome to connecting the dots conscious community. Okay, today we're gonna be talking about tropical astrology versus sidereal astrology, Western astrology versus Eastern astrology. This presentation is going to be given by Antiq Soul. So I asked Antiq Soul to take it away.
Okay, how you doing, everybody? Let's see. I guess the first way, I guess, just more of an introduction. There's actually another aspect to my name. I call it the most metaphysical part of my name, which is the one in the middle. It's actually called. My name is Antiq One Soul, and the one represents the unity and the conjunction, the marriage of the physical and the metaphysical. So I usually don't put it out there because I like to explain it. So that's just another aspect. Get further into that later. But sidereal astrology, I was I came across it one time. I've been studying astrology for about 30 years, and the deeper I got into it, and the more I got into it, the more I wanted it to be as accurate as possible. And when I came across sidereal astrology, it just seemed like a whole lot of complication and a whole lot of whole lot of more work. But the more I dissected it and tested it, the more it started to make sense, and the more it actually became more accurate than what I was studying. So uh, if you're going to do something that deals with numbers, you want to be as accurate as possible. So I began to phase in sidereal and phase out western. And the hard part was trying to find information or people that actually covered sidereal astrology. Sidereal astrology is really just Vedic astrology or Indian astrology or Eastern astrology. And it's just the Western version of Eastern astrology. And the key purpose of sidereal astrology is that it makes the adjustment to what is it, the zodiac that is really about 24 degrees off. And the reason why it's off is because I don't know if anybody know about the precession of the equinoxes. And that is basically over 2,000 years, the earth has changed. So if you look at astrology, what you know about astrology is basically 2,000 years old. And so the constellations have changed about 24 degrees. And that's what sidereal astrology takes into account, is that misinformation. And once you understand more about that switch. Sorry for that. I'm sorry about that. But the more you understand more about that major part, then you understand how what we term as astrology in the West It's basically just because I think it's just because they've been doing it for a long time, and they just don't want to make the adjustment. So if you do a little bit more research on your own about sidereal astrology, and I encourage people to, I always say, don't take my word for it. Um, I think you'll find a lot of secrets that, or a lot of the dots that have been connected, and things start to make more sense. So
Hey, brother, I mean, I want to ask you a question.
yes,
If
yes, sir.
anyone have any questions, please chime in. Um, oh, by the way, you got this quote over here. The tropical zodiac is a position of the sun referenced against the Earth horizon at a particular local, which gives you the seasons as a measure of the flow of time. The framework for the four seasons are two solstices and two equinoxes. This is the one most Western astrologers use. Okay. Now I know a lot of us heard these terms before, like the solstice and the equinox, right? So there's something about the solstice and the equinox in the four seasons, right? So then you got this other one down here that says the sidereal zodiac is the position of the sun referenced against the star background as a measure of the flow of time. The framework for the star background is the constellation the sun passes in front of. This is the one astronomers use. All right. Now, down here it says we can measure time by the seasons, tropical time, or by the stars, sidereal time. The sun, as the time our hand, is common in both. Now, anybody got any questions about that? Just chime in and say yes, yes. Because I know I got some questions. I just want to make sure that, or do everybody get that? I'm the only one who don't get it. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay, okay. I guess I explain the difference in what is this quote is trying to say.
Okay. The solstices are the two is the is when the summer solstice, which is June 2020, about 21st, is where the sun is in the sky the longest day of the year. And the winter solstice, which is December 21st, is where the moon or the night is the longest night of the year.
Okay.
So basically, between the solstices, the sun is at its peak in June, and as it as it advances toward December, the ancients said that the sun was dying, and that death was it's getting weaker, and to eventually it dies completely December the 21st. And after at December the 21st, it appears not to move for 3 days. Now that 3 day period is December 22nd, December 23rd, and December 24th. And on December 25th, it the sun actually begins to move again, this time going back toward its highest point, which is summer solstice. So that's where they've got in religion is it said the sun died on the cross because it dies completely in December, or appears to die completely in December the 24th, 21st. And okay, it appears to die, and this was the ancients believed that it died on December 24th and it was dead for 3 days. And that 3-day period is December 22nd, December 23rd, and December 24th. And on the fourth day, or on the December 25th, it is born again, and that's where Christmas comes from. Is that is the story of the sun, the sun, between the solstices, the summer and the winter. So December 25th, many cultures knew or believed that the sun rose or was born again on December 25th.
Okay, I want to
Yeah,
hold. I want to pause you on that one. Okay, we got a
yeah.
question from
Okay.
Aurora. She have a question. Aurora, can you ask your question?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm looking at the sidereal zodiac, and I'm
Yes.
totally understanding everything that you're saying, brother Antique. My question
Yes.
is, does Ophiuchus come in to your theory here?
Wow.
Ophiuchus, what is that? Is that the extra zodiac
Right.
constellation? Is that
Yeah.
It's for the month of December.
for the month of December?
Hmm.
Or is that what you're talking about? The 13th zodiac sign? Is that what that is?
Right.
Okay. Okay. Well, the difference is between when they talk about the 13th zodiac, it's not the 13th zodiac. It's the 13th constellation. There are 13 constellations that they use. Astronomers use the constellations is the imaginary line that wraps around the Earth. So that is always in place. The zodiac is different than the constellations in the fact that the zodiac is just the 12 signs that make up the zodiac as a science. So those are two different systems, or two different ways of looking at it. And so when people try to say that there's a 13th sign, it's always been there, but it's always been in the constellations. And the astrology is not about the constellations per se; it just deals with the signs.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Um, any more questions? Okay. Now let me here's something here. Let's talk about this over here. Sidereal zodiac on this here.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, all right, Ray. I was going to touch on a little bit of the
okay, go
of
for it.
the. I dealt with the solstices, and I want to deal with the equinoxes.
Let's do
Those
that.
are 4 major points. Now, and this won't be as long because the equinoxes is basically the halfway point between the solstices. So, as the sun is rising from December to June, the halfway part between where the day is equal. That's what equinox means. The day and the night are equal. So when you get to the midway point between it in the spring equinox, that's the midway point between the day and night are equal in balance. And then as spring comes in, that's when the sun or the day, the light overtakes the night, and things start to grow again. And the exact opposite dealing with the autumn equinox. The light and the day are equal, and then the night takes over, and the sun gets even weaker during those winter months. Okay, Ray.
The cycle.
I'm sorry.
The cycle.
The cycle.
Yeah. See, like you're talking about a cycle. I see cycles in this as well.
Oh,
There's,
definitely,
yeah, there's cycles in this. You know,
definitely.
I
Cycle.
kind of
Mate.
I kind of see what you're speaking about when you were saying the sun traveling over the horizon, then going to that point there. Any more questions? Or continue. Continue.
Okay. Well, let's see. What was the next point that it made? Did I answer your question, Ray? You was asking
Yeah.
to kind of break that down between. Now, I guess the difference between tropical and sidereal is that that's the tropical astrology is based on the seasons, and and that means is that the um, Western astrology believe that astrology always begins with the first sign, and they both have that in common. They both begin with the first sign, which is Aries. But the way they differ is that tropical astrology, Western astrology, believes that Aries always lines up with the first day of spring, which is the spring equinox, which is March 20th or March 21st. And like I said, over 2,000 years, the zodiac has transformed and is not a static science. It has uh, not advanced, has gone backwards basically. And so the first day of Aries is no longer lined up with the first day of spring. The
Right.
first day of Aries, if we look at the chart where it gives the new coordinates or the new dates for the sidereal astrology, the first day of Aries begins April the 15th. So it's almost maybe about 25, about 24 days difference between those two philosophies.
Okay.
So sidereal astrology makes that adjustment, and Western astrology basically says, "Don't worry about it. That doesn't really make sense. I mean, or it doesn't really mean anything." And that is exactly why the two differ. Because sidereal astrology, if you look up on any day, like today, when you look up in the sky, whatever you see, that's where the planets are. Because it is actually sidereal astrology is the actual movements of the planets. Um, Tropical astrology is about the apparent movement of the planets, which means it appears that it will continue to follow along the path that it has always followed along. And that's why most people say astrology doesn't work, because it's dealing with an apparent motion and not an actual motion.
Okay. Okay. Without that,
Antique,
go ahead.
Yes,
Antique, would you
yes,
consider the sidereal more scientific?
definitely more scientific, because if you like I said, if it's all about numbers, you're looking at you can add the numbers up, and you can pinpoint where something is with sidereal. You cannot do that with tropical. So some people ask, why are there two zodiacs? I said there's one, but for I guess I guess for saving face, I guess in a way, to not isolate or reject what's been known or what people have accepted as astrology. They say there's two zodiacs. If we're dealing with numbers, there's only one answer, and if the answers add up, that's the real, or that's the answer. If the questions or the numbers add up, that's your answer. So that's
Fact.
why I had to switch over. Yes, that's why I had to switch over to sidereal, because was the um, it actually added up to what the books or what Western astrology said it was supposed to add up to.
You know what I got out of that is that tropical astrology gives you a seasonal understanding because it's based just on the season, and sidereal astrology is based on the movement of the stars and planets. I think I'd rather go with the movement of the stars and planets than based on season. To
Right.
me, it didn't take too much of a mind shift, but it took me a whole lot of understanding that when I thought I was a Taurus, now I'm an Aries. That part there, that part there just tripped me. I don't know what.
that's the part that gets most people is that they have to readjust and say, I don't like Taurus or I don't like Aries. Well, let me give you a little bit of information on that. But you know, then I had to give more information on what that means. And when someone says that they're a Taurus or an Aries, that usually just means they know that the sun was in a particular sign when they were born. And the way I help people to adjust to the new information is that I say, if you're looking at the whole chart, you're not one sign or the other. You're the whole chart because the whole chart represents different parts of our lives and different parts of our bodies. So if you say if for instance you say I'm in Aries, Aries rules the head. To say I'm in Aries and in Aries only is say I'm just the head. But if you look at the whole chart and look at it like I'm the zodiac are different parts of our body parts. Aries would rule the head. Taurus rules the neck and the spine. Gemini rules the shoulders and the arms. Cancer rules the chest and the heart. Leo rules the abdomen. Virgo rules the buttocks. Libra rules the hips. Scorpio rules the genitals. Um, Sagittarius rules the thighs. Capricorn rules the knees. Aquarius rules the shins and the ankles. And Pisces rule the feet. So if you look at the astrology and the chart as a whole, you'll begin to expand your view of believing you're one or the other, or you're competing with one or the other. There are different parts of who we are that we have been taught to believe that we are only parts, and we're looking for other parts in other people, which is why, you know, to say a Taurus, all you need to do is find a Capricorn or a Virgo really doesn't work out.
I'm gonna go to the next slide. Any questions? Should I stay right here? Let's go to the next slide. Or any more questions?
Any more questions about it?
Well, I was gonna say, I have a question.
Okay.
It's just based on, like, I really appreciate you expanding my understanding about how each sign is a different aspect of your actual physical body. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so with that, and then getting, I'm going to say, an updated chart reading based on the Sidereal Astrology, with the way the planets and everything is aligned at your time of birth, would that have an emphasis on your overall, like, areas where you may be stronger or weak in yourself?
I'm sorry, you kind of spaced out on the actual question. Can you ask the question again?
Okay, I was saying that just based on wherever we land in the chart, based on when we're born, and the fact that each sign represents a different attribute that you were just describing. So
yes.
The position of all of that, just say aligning with the planets, to me, that would make sense why certain areas you may be stronger or weaker depending on when you were born and how everything was lined up.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Great. Perfect observation. That's exactly what that means. Because when you look at it as the certain sign is rising, if I know, hopefully a lot of people follow astrology and they understand already that the rising sign represents your physical body. So if you have a Virgo rising, Virgo rules the buttocks. The buttocks would would come into effect when you're looking at a certain person's body, and that person's body in that area would be emphasized, or they would have some, there'll be something unusual, something that stands out that would let you know that Virgo would be rising on that person's chart. Same way it would happen with Capricorn and the knees and the bones. The signs and the planets actually represent and they mean parts of our bodies, and they also represent and mean parts of our environment, which is why the ancients used it, because it was actually useful. You know, it told our story. It helped us tell our story to ourselves. Sometimes we can't see ourselves as clearly, but when we're looking at ourselves kind of objectively, we can kind of get a better view of, you know, looking of understanding ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Thank
Is it Makai?
Micah.
Micah,
Yeah.
sorry.
I was always told that I'm a Virgo and that my rising sign is Virgo as well. And
Okay.
while I always thought like I sure have a lot of Virgo qualities, I also always thought like there's a lot of things that don't fit my description. So according to the sidereal chart, am I a Leo with a rising sign Virgo, or does the rising sign also change?
Is your birthday the October 6th?
August 31st.
Okay, August 31st. Okay, I was just wondering if we did a sample chart. I was just wondering yours with the sample chart. But to answer your question, the signs, the planets, and the houses, they all signify a very similar energy. So when you're dealing with Virgo as the sun, and then Virgo as the rising sign, you have two different aspects. The rising sign would actually represent your outer appearance, and the sun energy would represent your inner sense of self. So to have an emphasis in that area would probably you would probably see that there is an emphasis in the area. But if I was to do your sidereal chart, you may actually have some degree of difference between both of them. You may actually be a Leo in one or both those, you know, those two those aspects of yourself. You may be a Leo sun with a Leo rising, and that would emphasize your stomach area or your abdomen. So
yeah, I got both, butt and belly. Sorry.
Brother Antiq Soul, I got one question.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of taking
Yes, sir.
notes of this. Okay, you got the rising sign would be is the aspect of the body, your physical representation. And
Yes.
so your descendant sign will be like your inner aspect or your ego.
Well, the descendant in the right side of the chart usually symbolizes other people in your life.
Oh,
So
okay.
so you're usually looking at the left side as your physical attributes, and the right side as in the descendant as other people or the person that you are most attracted to who represent those opposite qualities.
Okay, I understand that. So that rising sign would be more to say the sun sign.
Say it again. The rising sign would be what?
The rising sign will be considered the sun sign, right?
No. As far as the other person.
No, I'm just asking, you know, just being on a basic format when someone says my rising sign is Gemini. That means that that's their bodily representation, you know, because what it's just like what Delisha was saying is like each one of these aspects of the zodiac is an aspect of ourself. We're building ourself, the legs, the feet, the arm, and all this, which was great analogy how we can get it. But also, I want to understand more about the a rising sign and a descendant sign, and wondering what aspect do that bring in. You know, what is that? You know, your sun sign is more like your ego.
Well, the sun sign.
What do that mean anyway? Tell me
Okay,
that.
let's
Your sun sign got any reference to sidereal?
Yeah,
Cause
let's
see, I'm
break that
still,
down.
what it is, okay, it's just like me. It's just like a person coming to a spiritual center and religious, got nothing but religious knowledge in them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
like I can't come in there thinking this old kind of way. Then I was still kind of thinking topical because I'm myself. I want to move sidereal. So I
okay.
know in topical they talk about your sun sign and your rising sign.
Right, right.
And
Okay. Well,
I was wondering, is that does that simple balance still stays the same because your rising sign is sun with your sun sign, and that's your ego. I think this is what they say. Could you explain that? Maybe this.
yeah, yeah. Okay. In tropical astrology, the sun is basically the focus of the chart,
Okay,
and then you have and the rising sign or the ascendant is usually the physical characteristics. Now, what I've done with studying sidereal and also looking at the let's get one thing straight. The sun is not in a different place in June than it is in December. It's the earth that moves around the sun. So what I've done is I've taken the sun out of the chart while and using the sidereal format. I've taken the sun out and I use the earth. Now the earth is always 180 degrees opposite the sun. So when you look out at the sun appears to be in a certain sign. But what we really need to do is just like in life, don't just look at your environment and make judgments. What we have to do is look out at our environment and then look in within ourselves to understand the significance of what's going on outside us. So with seeing it that way, we can look out at the sun because we can actually feel ourselves moving on the earth. So we can use the sun as an indicator, but not as a we don't need to use the sun as a
wow. Okay, you cut
I'm
up on
getting
that
no
one.
interference.
Yeah,
We still here?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, there. Okay. Let's see. And so what I was saying is that by using the sun as an indicator, but no longer using it as an actual part of the zodiac. I mean, of the astrology chart. So there, I use the earth, and I always use the earth now, and I when I do people's chart, I also give them a readout of their earth sign instead of their sun sign, because the sun, if you look at the moon, the sun, and the moon represents the past. It's symbolic of the past and past lives. The sun would represent the present, and we all share the same sun. So there is no person who has one sun in Virgo and one sun in Leo. What we do have are
Mm.
different paths on Earth, and our different paths is represented by the Earth, and that Earth represents our future path. So we're looking what is much more accurate is to understand where we came from with the moon and where we're going here on Earth in this present lifetime.
Gotcha.
Mm.
All right. Those some dots that got connected right there.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I got to do something right quick.
Okay. So,
Show them some love. Show them some
I'm
love.
waking up, y'all. I'm waking up.
So I think you did my sample chart. I'm October 6th.
okay. Who is this?
Sheila.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We're Sheila. I didn't know that you was gonna tell him because he didn't want to know who you was,
Right. Oh.
and he just gonna just read your chart and then somebody gonna start talking. That's how. But I forgot to call you and tell you
Oh,
that
sorry.
that part.
Well, I ruined it. I'm so sorry.
No, you
Well,
didn't.
no.
Must
No,
be
right.
the Virgo in me.
No. What I was saying was I still don't know who you are, Sheila. So I mean, your identity is still a mystery to me. So
Right.
I was asking Ray who you were, and then I said, well, maybe we should try to figure. Maybe I can just start reading the chart and then
Right.
figure out who a person is. But I said I think it'd be easier for you to just as you did speak up, so you
Right.
can ask questions and you can kind of guide me to the questions you actually want to know. So,
Right.
so I mean, you didn't do anything wrong. Thanks for
Okay.
making yourself known.
Okay.
We know who you are.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Shall we go to the next slide? Or
And,
anybody got more
that's
questions?
anybody got more questions? All right. Sounds. I hear crickets. So let's move on.
Can I get a reader? Can somebody read this?
Yes.
Can I get a volunteer?
Yes.
Okay.
So why are there two zodiacs? Tropical Western astrology is based on the seasons, while Sidereal Eastern astrology is based on the stars. The tropical astrology ring has been intentionally rotated over the centuries in relationship to the constellations to keep Aries lining up with the first day of spring. This is called first point of Aries, a term still used by current day astronomers. In this manner, tropical astrology purposely compensates for the precession of the equinoxes, a fact often overlooked by skeptics. Oh,
Anybody
interesting.
Yes.
else? Anybody got to say anything? What you got to say about that?
Wow.
Well, that says it right there because with tropical astrology, uh, I think, like I said, the reason why they haven't made the changes is because there's a whole industry built off of the way things have been, and they don't want to change the books. They don't want to change all the signs. They don't want to do a lot of the changes. So what they just say is that things are exactly the way it is. Don't get upset. Don't worry. You're still what we say you are, and life goes on.
Hey,
but in truth,
can I? Oh, can I say something
yeah,
right quick? I just need to
yeah,
express this. I just express this.
no,
Now, we always talk about if you okay, Rhea, I got you coming next. If we always talking about whenever you want to do something, you got to change your mind. Einstein says all of this and stuff. Now, here is the pivotal turning point of that change in that mind. You know, a lot of people look at astrology. We can't even Christians. They say they're Christian, but they like to look at their horoscope. You know, but they didn't. In other words, this is the red pill right here. I kind of feel like
yeah.
basically it didn't really kind of change my life now that I started looking at it this way. Rhea, Rhea, you want you had your hand up?
No?
Go for it,
Yes.
Miss Shayla.
Oh, hey, yeah. I didn't realize that you were calling on me. Thank you.
Yeah, did you have your hand up?
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you were calling on me.
Okay.
So,
Miss Shayla. Oh, am I pronouncing your name right, Miss Shayla?
Miss Shayla Renee.
Miss Shayla Renee. Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Shayla.
Thank you.
Mission.
I appreciate the sidereal. I had a Kemetic high priest somewhere back in 2012 do my reading. He didn't do it as a Commission priest. He did it on African astrology.
Mm-hmm.
He said he didn't care about the tropical astrology because he felt that, and these are his words, the tropical astrology was based on a European construct that was specifically keeping us in a secular financial trappings. That's all he said. He says it's a trap. He says, and it's to keep you from knowing who you really are.
Definitely.
So if they can shift that so you can't really know who you are, then you can't connect with the people the right way. It's like he said, like gears, and there's these gears that are moving, and if you don't know who you are, you done missed it's like you'd have missed your gear to plop in and be who you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
Or to thrive or to. So he said, this is an African, it's not about you living in the west side or the east side. He says, you are an indigenous person that came, your root system literally is from the earth. And so you have to go based on that. You cannot go based on some construct of the Julian calendar or the Gregorian calendar. I thought that was really powerful.
Yes.
But I've been a Virgo all my life.
There you go. Here it is. There's the rub right there.
So I realized, oh, well, because I teach in metaphysics, and so and I know that words produce after their kind. And so as I started really thinking about what he was saying, I said, well, gosh, I'm a Virgo because somebody told me I was a Virgo. I've read the Virgo stuff all my life, so then I became the Virgo that I'm supposed to be. But when I went to look at my chart, then my sidereal chart, when I look at the aspects of all those nuances of personality, aspects, oh my gosh, no, I'm Leo. I am a Leo. But it totally makes sense because now my sister, there's 5 Leos in the direct family line: mother, brother, sister, aunt, and a cousin. All of them are Virgos, including myself. So out of everyone, they're late Virgos. So they're after the 10th or the 13th, blah, blah, blah. So very, very conservative. They fall in the nature of a true Virgo when you look at the description of Virgo. Okay. Well, when people looked at me, they're like, there's some, you wear your hair big, it's got to be this, you walk in, and so they said, you look like a Virgo, but you act like a Leo. Well, now it totally makes sense. And I was like, so then I stopped being connected to what did this book say that I am, and I got to be this person. More so looking at who I am, and then seeing the different characteristics that are matched based on the charts sidereally, which I'm thinking more from an African mindset. And I don't even want to say African. I'm just going to say from an aspect of an ethnic being, person of Al-Qabulan. So.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for that. So I really appreciate the sidereal. And it's funny because my husband is a Leo, so he didn't want to shift because his number actually would shift to Cancer, right? But when I met him, I said, man, he don't act like a Leo. He really acts like a Cancer. There you go. Yes, sir. So anyway, yeah. So
this is the challenge that you have when like I said, when you bring out something that just challenges everything that you believed your whole life. Some people have tattoos of their Virgo, of their astrology sign. Some people, I mean, it's really an intricate part of their lives. And to tell somebody they're a Cancer when they're a Leo, or when they believe they're a Leo, they want to fight you sometimes, man. I have to, have to do a lot of ducking and weaving sometimes, just kind of mentally, just kind of trying to help them to kind of grasp what I'm telling them is that everything that you believe that you thought was true may not actually be true.
Right. Yeah. So we have a lot of fun. He speaks about his Aquarian nature, and then I looked and I said, oh, that sidereal chart. So but it's in my sidereal chart, and he's like, yeah, I don't see any Aquarius in you. Well, it depends on what it's about, and this person, the part of the aspect of who you are that it falls into. So yeah. So anyway.
That's why I say we're the whole horoscope, and there's different parts in different signs are they line up in different areas of your life.
Yeah.
So even though you may not have an emphasis, I'm sorry.
Okay, somebody was
So you trying to tell me? Yeah, I'm trying to chime in here.
Yeah, who?
I'm trying. So you trying to tell me I'm not a Sagittarius?
What you say?
He
You
might be the
you
Sagittarius.
you may not be a Sagittarius. I'm saying that right. But like I said, every zodiac sign is made up of 30 degrees.
30
So only the last 6 degree or the last 6 days of the traditional astrology chart will 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 keep you in that same sign. In other words, if you were born in the first 24 days of that sign, you're the sign preceding the sign that you thought. And
Okay.
if you're born in the last six days of that sign, you're probably still in that sign.
Okay, so you're going backwards, right?
Right, you go, and
Okay.
that's what the word precession is. It's actually going backwards.
You know what?
Well, darn it.
I guess a lot of people got it. You know, I feel I'm feeling everybody here. It's like it's like a cognitive dissonance. We're like
It
trying to
blows
get it.
people's minds.
Yeah,
Yes, it blows
I just
people's
feel
minds.
that. Everybody like, wait a minute, what is
This
wow.
might explain why I've attracted so many Virgos in my life, because I'm really a Virgo. Like,
wow.
Four of my best friends are Virgos. Well, they think they are.
Well,
Hey,
like,
when I found that out, when that Kemetic high priest shared that with me, that was back in 2010. It was hard for me to accept then. So you talk about confidence.
around that time.
However, shifting now, we're at 2020. I want to say somewhere between about 2016, I started really paying attention to that chart that was read. It started to really help me to appreciate who I was attracting in my life and why I attracted the people in my life.
Right.
Even why I had to separate to some degree, because it was based on that chart, the trueness of that sidereal chart of how my body in my birthplace was moving in connection with true planetary cycling and Earth cycling. That makes total. I'm gonna say then it's like you grow up, you know. And that's all I'm going to say. You just grow up.
There you go.
Grow up.
Okay, I'm growing up now because I found out I was Sagittarius. I'm not a Capricorn, y'all. I was so mad. I'm like, but I want to be a Capricorn. I'm Sagittarius. I don't like Sagittarius. Well, I still love you.
Hey, so y'all can look on this chart right here and see your birthday, and you can see if your birthday changed or not. That's why I came back to this page. So everyone look at this chart over here and see if your birthday changed or not.
Yeah.
You know, then I'm gonna go back to
my daughter she act more like Sagittarius, and I was right.
Yeah.
She's Capricorn, December 22nd, but I told her she act like a Sagittarius because she's like, we thought she was on the cusp, but she's actually a Sagittarius. I told her she act like one. That's crazy.
Wow. Okay. So wait, I'm gonna be better now. I know who I am.
Well,
that's what they told me.
Miss Virgo the Virgin.
Now, like I said,
how funny is
that's just like I said, the beginning of the change. Everything you thought you knew about astrology, you have to throw it out the window when I start helping you understand sidereal against tropical, because tropical is based off of what they told you, and sidereal is based off who you are.
And I can honestly say, I'm just saying this before you move on, that the brief information that I have received from you, Brother Antiq Soul, it was just too real that honestly, I'm still haven't recovered from finding out these things. I'm serious. I have not recovered, but I'm grateful because I think it's necessary to be open to this, especially at this time of reinventing yourself and being all that you are, and being open to just something else other than what's been given to us on every level.
Well, I think
That means you're a Libra?
No, I'm a Sagittarius.
You're Sagittarius?
Yes.
What?
That hurt my heart because I didn't want to be no Sagittarius.
What?
Oh my Aurora, are you on the line?
Well, it's part of it's.
Oh, wait a minute. We ain't
It's
gonna
part
do
of the
no
readjust.
bad talking Sagittarius now.
I was, Brother T. Root. I was going to tell you, I'm you.
remember, you might be a Scorpio, so you might be defending the wrong family.
No. Oh, me?
No, Teray. Teray.
Oh, Brother T. Root.
Yeah. But like I said, this may be this is the readjusting the Earth is going through. We're
So
going through
I
a
can't
major.
Okay, so my birthday is December 2nd. So you saying I could be a Scorpio?
Let's see. Let's look at your.
Let me go back. Look at it right here. When is it?
December 2nd?
December 2nd.
Yeah.
You're a Scorpio.
Yeah, Scorpio.
Hell no. I hate Scorpio.
I felt the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but then again, you're looking at them what the Scorpio that they think that they are. They may
Exactly.
Right.
They are really something different. So if you shift into Scorpio, they could truly be either Libra or Sagittarius energy, and that's what you're really having contention with. I had to really adjust in that way myself. You know, I was like, you know. So, anyways, it's just my observation.
That's true. That's a very good point. That's a very.
I have a question here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm September 15th. So you're telling me I may be a Leo?
Well, let's look right quick.
Yeah, you're Leo. September 15th.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
You're Leo.
Yes,
brother Chante.
But look at the brother in the way that he carries himself, and he's got his lower mane. It's like it's coming out in our body in the way that we express ourselves without even knowing it, right?
Right.
So,
Yes.
You called it out. You read that.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with being a Virgo or a Leo. It's okay.
All right. Well, you handle changes very well then. So a lot of people resist change. A lot of people fight change. A lot of people say, I want to be who I've always wanted to be. And, you know, it takes them a time to wrap their minds around it. Like I said, it took me a year to accept that what I learned and what I was learning, what I was teaching myself was wrong. And so in order to teach other people correctly, I had to correct myself first.
Wait a minute, so I gotta accept this?
You don't have to accept it.
That makes a lot of sense.
You have free will.
Makes a lot of sense right there because like when you come from a place and it actually, when you accept moving forward, it's the whole being that you have to let go of the past.
Yeah.
And you have to bring yourself into the present. And that's the hardest part, by accepting the newness that you were something that you didn't know.
There you go.
So when you, it's nothing someone can actually bring to your table.
Right.
This is something that you have to go through and become aware of, and the brain process of it is knowing your left from your right, like understanding that I might not have been right choices, you know, are the things. It can become as simple as that, as I'm saying, you know.
Very true.
Indeed, brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, so Sheila, what do you say about you read this, Sheila? So you got any closing statements on this right here?
Well,
it's just all so new to me. So I'm just like, what? This is like I got questions. Probably
Okay.
new to me.
Okay. Maybe I'm gonna push on to the next slide and see what we got here. Yeah, we got a big one. We got a big slide here. Here's a big one. I like to have a couple volunteers. Can I get a couple volunteers to read? Who want to go first?
I can't see it. I'm gonna be honest. I can barely see
can't
it.
see it. Anyone who is this
right?
Is this hard for anybody? For everybody to see?
I can't see. I can't see me that small right now.
Over the course, I can.
I'm using my phone and everything is small too.
Okay, somebody just said they can see it.
Barely.
Who's that?
Oh, me.
Okay, go for it.
Over the course of one orbit around the sun, the direction of the Earth's axis drifts ever so slightly. This means that where along our orbit the solstice occurs also changes by a very small amount. The solstice actually occurs every 20 minutes earlier than the full trip in front of the backdrop stars.
Okay, let's take a pause there.
That was deep.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, what do you say? It was deep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want this part here. My spirit was saying that we're gonna have fun with this part here.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna gain some perspective ourselves on this Earth and this Earth spinning inside this galaxy. I really wish I could have had that video of that thing spinning.
But, yeah.
Yeah, but read this once more again, Mike, and everyone listen up.
Over the course of one orbit around the sun, the direction of the Earth's axis drifts ever so slightly. This means that where along our orbit the solstice occurs also changes by a very small amount. The solstice actually occurs every 20 minutes earlier than one full trip in front of the backdrop stars.
Okay. Since we tie our calendar and astrologers tie the signs to the solstice and the equinox, the Earth does not actually complete an entire orbit in 1 year. Okay, we got a parking lot that one right there.
Yeah.
Okay. The seasonal or tropical year is actually a hair less time than one full orbit. Sidereal year. Now, I got a parking like that one too, because I heard sidereal years before in lectures. This means that each year, where the sun is relative to the stars on any given day, June 21st, for example, drifts a very tiny amount. Okay, I like to say this. In that, I see us. Okay, I'll paint this picture. Observe, picture the sun. The sun is right there before you, right? Now, picture the Earth next to the sun going around the sun. And also picture that the sun is moving. It's not stationary. That the sun is moving and the Earth is moving right along with it and spinning around the sun and is wobbling. That's what I see. That, the sun, ultimately the sun is traveling around the sun is traveling around some other great central sun because we're constantly moving or we're constantly expanding. There's a movement.
Well, this is what it's actually saying. All right, let's pull it up here. It's talking about the apparent motion of the sun. The sun, we can't feel the sun moving, and the backdrop that the sun appears to be moving against the constellations, that is what is moving. The year is based off of the sun is 365 days, but it's actually the Earth is moving. It takes the Earth 365 days to get around the sun. But what most people believe is it takes the sun's 365 days to go through all the signs of the zodiac. So you can see the disconnect. No one really tried to understand and connect really tried to make sense of it. because it's not that the sun is moving against the backdrop of the zodiac. It's the earth moving against the backdrop of the zodiac. And that's the confusing part.
Okay. So the sun is not moving.
The sun relative the sun is moving along with the Milky Way. The Milky Way is moving at a rate that's like millions of miles per hour.
Right.
Well, we don't feel it because everything is moving at the same time. So we're in a spinning, cyclonic, whirlwind of activity.
Okay.
But and if it was to stop, we would know that it stopped because everything would stop. So the sun is moving. The sun, I believe, the sun with its planets takes maybe I think it's about 100,000 years or 100,000. I can't remember the exact date, but it takes 100,000 years to move around the Milky Way. So with that, the sun is not really moving from our perspective. We can't feel it. We don't know it. So even though it is moving, that's not what we're calculating here. We're calculating the movement of the Earth around the sun, and that is on a much more of a rational. We have a much more rational understanding of that. And that's the 365 days that they're talking about. Now the Earth, every even though it takes 365 days, every year it doesn't take the complete 165 days. It's maybe off 20 minutes. So it's not exactly 365 days. So over 2,000 years, that small amount has grown to make the big change of 24 degrees off.
All right. Yeah.
That's why sidereal is 24 degrees. But Eastern astrology has always calculated this. They've always made the adjustments. It's only Western society that is waking up to the big question. Why didn't I know this before?
Why I didn't know
The beginning of the year is gonna be March, right?
Why they
I'm
didn't tell
sorry?
me this in high school?
Yeah.
If this keeps
Yes.
happening, doesn't that mean that the signs would keep changing as to
Well,
where they
well,
are?
read the next paragraph, Ray.
Okay.
That'll answer that question.
But wait. Okay. You want to read that, Micah?
On the June solstice 2,000 years ago.
Right here. But wait. But what about? You saw it. But what about?
Right above.
Right above.
Oh, but wait about 2,000 years and the sun will be sitting in an entirely different constellation.
now read that next paragraph also. That'll tie it in together.
On the June solstice 2,000 years ago, the sun was sitting almost halfway between Gemini and Cancer. On this year's June solstice, the sun will be sitting between Gemini and Taurus. In the year 4609, the June solstice point will pass out of the constellation Taurus and into the constellation Aries. Wow.
There it is.
Interesting.
This is the stuff that I kind of needed, man. Because I always knew that we're moving. Now I know we're really moving, and now I can help calculate my movements.
But I will still be the same Micah, no matter what sign I'm told I am. I'm still me.
Exactly. Right. You're still you. You have a better understanding of you'll be able to connect what you know about you and what you understand about you.
Mm-hmm.
Those two will line up better than knowing who you are and then hearing or seeing something completely different in your chart.
Does
apologize.
that everything is just seasonal, or you're seasonal, or you come alive at a season, or um, round that up for me a little bit, because it it kind of went out there, and everyone took their personal little, not their personal intake about it, but
Mm-hmm.
in a whole perspective of the world. Because I feel when you found yourself and you got your intake, then you're not looking for these distances. And so these are the things like, okay, how is the world going to, because I feel we're already in a transition, and not just our mindsets, but the whole world has turned from a transition. And we
Well,
are manipulating the sun. We are manipulating these times and dates. So we are confused by the information, one, and then the other, okay, the things that we study. What I want
yeah.
to know is, how are you rounding this up? Okay, because some of us are taking it for self-value, but where are we at right now in this world change? Because
Well,
it has a lot to do with how our signs are acting out right now.
well, that's the key, is that if we've been fed the wrong information over time, we're so far away from the truth that this awakening is happening everywhere. The truth has always been going on.
Absolutely.
Yes, and we are finally waking up to the fact that have been we have been being lied to. We've been lying to ourselves based on the lies we were told. And the lie after lie after lie eventually gets to the point where you're so far off the the track, not really off the track, but in your mind and everything that you believe is so far off the track that this awakening is happening not just here but everywhere. Everybody's
Right.
waking up that the truth is something that we've been overlooking purposefully, so that the way things are could happen and to exist. So as the people waking up, they are rejecting the powers that be that have been in control of this knowledge and have been feeding us the lies. Governments, anything, any person in authority. Right now, sidereally, the Pluto, which is the major planet that is sparking this awakening, it comes around every 248 years. This country have never received a Pluto return, which means when the planet returns to its point where it began, it comes back to the reality of where it started. And after that whole cycle, you gain the knowledge and the wisdom of what you went through. America is waking up to its first cycle of Pluto and the lies we have been told, and we're just kind of rejecting it. We're fighting it, and we're angry, and we're being told a lot of misinformation, and now a lot of people get it. A lot of people were saying it before. There've been some truth talkers along the way telling us, "You've been bamboozled, you've been hoodwinked." But we couldn't get it. We couldn't really get it. Now a lot more people are getting it than not getting it, and this is the natural occurrences that are happening. Now Pluto just touched inside of Capricorn. Capricorn rules governments and people in authority. So what it what it has done also, it has retrograded out of Capricorn into Sagittarius, but it's going to return back to Capricorn, and there's going to be a lot more upheaval and a lot more resistance and a lot more rebellion to the status quo and to somebody else giving us the wrong information. And this sidereal astrology and systems like it that connect people to the truth of who they are will become the I think the new way that we're moving forward, especially with the age of Aquarius coming up in another 100 years or so. We're moving to a place where we'll be taking personal responsibility in learning our truth and living that truth.
That part right there.
There you go, right there.
Yes.
I agree with that. I agree with that part. Taking on the personal responsibility for the things that you've applied to things in life. And also, if we just stand strong together, it's like there's some natural things that should happen, but because of our own personal intent from trying to live with the lies. See, we had to adapt to the things that was applied to us. So
Yeah.
to change those things, you have to not just believe, you have to create a whole new community that
Yep.
understands this. And
Yeah.
I see you, I know who you are. So and I see you more now. And I appreciate you more now for your personal sacrifices. I don't know if everyone knows you for like your personal sacrifices, but when you should see that in yourself when you come across another being that looks like you.
Right.
So you should manage yourself. I believe like.
What's that? What's that? Who is that?
Only thing I know, I'm always setting off alarms. So that was someone's either a timer.
No, that's me. I'm at a storage, and so that was somebody set the alarm off. Okay. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
Go continue.
Yes, please.
Well, I just feel if we are going to make a change as like-mindedness, like we come on these platforms and like I'm getting something from this, you know. The fact that all of this is brand new to me because not because it wasn't there to learn it, but it was a choice. And I think the change of perception of what we're going through is like divine choice. Like you have to get there. I don't think everyone comes through the same porthole to get to this higher place. I think we all come from, it's like the tree. It's like the root of the tree. You know, it's like you have to understand it. Go ahead. Your remark was?
Everyone has their own time to awakening.
Everyone has their own time.
Yeah, everyone has their own awakening.
Right, just like a seasonal plant. Like just because the roots have taken on these different places at a certain time doesn't mean that it's not your time. You have to wait for your season to come. And that's why our world right now, I feel, is going through this this time. We're going through a season of this was supposed to happen to us.
Oh,
in some
definitely.
type of way. Because
we were supposed to get off balance so that we can come back in balance and understand who we are after going through this whole cycle of being off balance, so to speak. You know, we were supposed to lose ourselves so we can find ourselves. We're supposed to lose our spiritual identity so we can gain our earth identity, and then we have to bring into our
right.
Yes.
All of it turns back to spirit, but yeah, Thank you. Just thank you for that and for my time. I'm about to put my stuff on mute now because
Wait, before you go, can you read this right here, this last segment? The sign more or less. Can you read that?
let me see. Can I?
You can't read it.
I can't even see it. I'm on my cell phone.
Oh, okay, okay. Michael,
I'm on my cell phone and it's so entirely small. And
cool.
I try to blow it up and it becomes pigment.
Okay.
It's cool. Michael, can I actually just close us out with this, if you like?
Like I'm being back in school.
I like you. I like the way you sound when you speak. It's you know, you remind me of my auntie. My auntie from England. No, Terry,
that's
cool.
a good thing. The signs more or less aligned with their corresponding constellations when the modern Western zodiac was defined about 2,000 years ago. But in the intervening centuries, the slow wobble of the Earth axis has caused the solstice and equinox points to shift roughly 30 degrees westward relative to the constellation. At present, signs and constellations are about 1 calendar month off. Wow. In another 2,000 years or so, they'll be about 2 months off.
Wow.
Wow. You know, reading that, it just remind me of, you know, back when they were talking, when Rome was changing the calendar, they were trying to change the time and everything. All that just comes all bam right there.
Yeah.
I see it. It's all right here. It's, you know, it's all, and this is, if this was a courtroom and we were like if this was a courtroom against something, you know, it'd be evident that, yeah, somebody had a hand in all this miseducation, misinformation, and suppression of knowledge and growth. But you know what? The suppression of knowledge hinders both ways, because that person who is suppressing the other person of knowledge, they are suppressing themselves as well, because it's a symbiotic thing. That next person got to grow so I can feed off of you now. Then I grow and then you feed off of me. Right. So, you know, I just had to say that, you know, it's just crazy. I'm glad that I'm here and I'm woke and I'm with same kind of woke people.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Like that song, Stay Woke.
Stay woke, yeah. Hey.
Now that we're waking up, stay woke.
I do have a question.
What's that?
I have a question. Just in my lack of knowledge, why? Because the change of the calendar, why should that change who we are as a person? Like our mindset, or if there's a switch of the world change, why should we internally say that just because now I'm a Leo, I'm supposed to have Leo ways? I feel like our stability in our mind is, once we made a choice of who we are, we stand strong on that right there, and it takes us through these different channels. I'm not understanding all these different levels. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be real. Yeah. But basic knowledge of just psychological levels, or where do we go spiritually versus what is this natural being? I mean, if you just read everything and not take on this personal opinion and then take a choice of your own, then you know, I guess I ran off with that a little bit.
Yeah. I was just gonna stop you too.
Well,
I understand what you're saying. And wait, hold on 1 minute. 1 minute before we go. Now, Michelle, I got you because you raised your hand up. Now, Shantae was just posing Brother Antiq Soul a question. Brother Antiq Soul, did you understand what he was asking you?
Yeah, why should the new knowledge that you are a different sign affect you as the person you have decided to be? Is that correct?
Something like
Is
that.
that kind of
No, let me rephrase it and not be so
okay?
long-winded. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so we know you said that the calendar changes, so that would change pretty much your sign. Or I became a Leo, knowing that it went back a little bit, right?
Right.
So knowing that I was a Virgo my entire life, September 15th,
Hmm.
and if I and me coming into awareness of this, like, okay, signs are a part of our life. Now, why shouldn't I choose to be a Scorpio since I like Scorpio?
All
You
right.
know,
Okay,
I got you.
versus,
I got you.
versus, versus, okay,
okay,
I've been a Virgo
he
my
got
whole
you.
life, and my
He got
sign
you.
did not make me Shantae Jerome Thomas and who I am today. What made me who I was today was my consistency, my responsibility, my love for my family, and my love for myself, and my love for
Okay.
humanity. You
Okay.
know, so why would all of that change?
Because that makes you a Virgo and a Leo, what you just
Uh,
described.
Okay,
You
wait a minute,
already,
so
you were
wait.
already a Leo, you just didn't know
Now
it.
I want to be a Taurus then, because Tauruses get away with everything.
Hey, hold on. Okay, Shantae,
I
Antique
think we
Soul,
got
go
some
ahead.
I'm
shade.
just saying.
I
Answer that
think
question.
I
Coach,
think
put
the
that
first
out.
I think the first shade has been thrown this evening. So. Um,
True
well,
that.
so now what it is that you are not a different person. All it represents is that you are aware of your zodiac in a different way. Like I said before, when people start trying to wrap their mind around the new sign that they're in, I let them
Right.
know that you're the whole complete you're the whole
Whole,
zodiac.
complete. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
what you did not understand is that you were more
Yeah.
than just a Virgo at that time.
Right.
You were also a Leo. You were also a Scorpio, and you were also a Taurus that got away with stuff. So you're a multi-dimensional person, and that's what I want you to understand and to embrace. And these are just different parts of yourself that we're going to pinpoint and to focus on in order to emphasize what you already know and fill in the blanks
Absolutely.
of what you don't know.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. You know,
Well, I kind of feel like that's kind of like walking around heaven all day inside yourself, if you can just understand people, you
Yeah.
know. And to me, that's what this world should be more about, being able to adapt to these different continents, adapt to these different spirits that come from other different countries, other different places, and knowing that we all are up underneath one sun, you know. And if we see, humans come to the table with intent, but they don't talk about this thing. They try to use what we're talking about as their avenue to change their, I don't want to use bipolar tendencies, like these things. All of this is mental. And I feel like if we fall in love with ourselves, then we won't use like our personal intents
Well,
to
that's the point. That's the point, is to fall in love with yourself completely by knowing all aspects of yourself.
all
Because
aspects.
see, because
Right, right,
when what other people from other places are bringing to you is a reflection of of a part of yourself that you do not understand. And when you
Yes.
see, the more you understand yourself through through the horoscope, the better you'll be able to understand these differences coming from other people. You can say, this person is reflecting something to me that I don't understand, and you can tune into it instead of rejecting it and saying, since I don't understand you, I'm you. I'm not going to engage you. I'm not going to try to understand you. So
Indeed.
the first core understanding is self-understanding, self-revelation, self-awareness, self-healing, self-love. Once you love yourself and understand that everything that you are is multidimensional, you can love someone else who has the same exact ingredients, just arranged in a different way.
Ah,
Indeed.
okay.
Indeed.
I see. I see. I
Okay,
see.
moving
Brother Ray,
forward.
Brother Ray,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Did I hear Brother Shantae say something about other countries? What did you say, Brother Shantae?
No,
Who am I replying to? May I at least do that? Is that Miss Rena?
This is Miss Aurora. This is Miss
Oh,
Aurora.
I'm
Okay.
I'm brand new. I'm brand new. Miss Aurora, what I meant by other countries and other languages
Mhm.
is that we are descendants of somewhere in some place. And just because I look black here doesn't mean that my origin is from this um, state of mind. So the languages that I'm speaking in a spiritual way, in a spiritual terms, where just like you're using the metaphors of this platform here to talk about God or to talk about the stars or like we're talking about spiritual beings here. So I was using that phrase as the different languages, like I feel okay and comfortable with these different people from different countries and different languages, or different personalities, or different origins, or different continents. I feel okay with them coming to my table is because I guess I have related to that before. So that felt like walking around heaven all day. Like I see people that I just love instead of looking at them. Like I can see your awful intent if it was brought to the table, but that's just because you we're talking from a representation of what you allow to come into your continents, to your person,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mhm.
who you marry, who you be around, what city you live in, what friends you have, what associates you deal with. All those things have to deal with human beings that come from different places, right? They didn't all come from your family, one place, right? Why is everybody here stunned? Like
I'm not.
everybody just
I'm not stunned. I actually wanted to say something in regards to what you're saying. I had a couple of things that I actually wanted to say, Brother Champagne. And
yes,
one, when Brother Antique broke down saying that we're all the astrology, we might be just positioned differently, according to the charts. And with that, not trying to get technical because I'm just learning about this myself, but I think it all comes back to that we're all one. There's no
yeah,
separation. There's no distinction of difference other than maybe color, creed, or language or culture. But ultimately, there's still divine principles that pervade or transcend it all, regardless. So I think that being comfortable, because we've been taught to think someone's different or someone's higher or lower, we come with this predisposition of carrying all this baggage that was passed on to us or thrown upon us. And then here we are in this big bowl of stew, a big salad, if you will. And now we're
I
learning,
thought it was
now we're
bamboo.
adding some more. parts to it, but I want to fast forward and say, like, when Brother Antiq started reading my chart, we haven't finished that conversation because it's more than one conversation, I can tell you that. But from that, you don't really lose any aspect of who you were. It actually answers the questions why certain things happened in your life and things about who you are today and how it all comes together. And that is something that no one has been able to answer for me as long as I've been on this planet. So that's why I'm really fascinated, because what this gift of his presence being here amongst us is going to help open us up to impart those things that we didn't understand and open you up to a whole nother level of understanding. I don't think it has anything to do with Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. It's just more about who you are as a whole person, because we're all of it. We're just like, we all have different handprints. Okay, well then I'm this way, or he's that way, you know, but we're still of the same spirit. So that's what I just wanted to say, but I can't talk about sidereal astrology because I'm learning, but I just wanted to, I understand where you're coming from. And I just wanted to say, I hear you and I get it. So now you're in an environment and a circle of people, not just here, but everything else that you're doing. And it's bringing it all together because this is what it was meant to be in the first place. And this is the time.
Babe, wait, hold on a minute. One minute, please.
Go ahead, brother.
Rhea had her hand raised, and you'd like to chime in on this, Rhea? I keep saying Rhea, Renee. I don't know why I'm thinking about
she just left. Oh, Michelle, she just left.
Michelle. Is
she still there, or did she leave? Because she just sent me a.
May I respond? May I respond to Miss Lewis's statement? She made a really open statement to me, and it was directed towards like where I am right now, like how I'm viewing this. And I agree with what you're saying, Miss Lewis. Where my consciousness was going with, I was saying the same thing that you were saying, but it's coming into this awareness of everyone, you know, of like everyone that's around me, getting the fact that, okay, I'm clear with this now, you know. So that's changing your language, because you have to speak differently when you're talking about something that you're actually new partaking. So I'm not going to speak like, I come from a Christian background, Pentecostal, Church of God in Christ.
I've been there. I've been okay.
There are things that I on levels where I understand this consciousness that relates to where we are now. It's just what I believe. It's our acceptance of what we chose to. Some of us may be weaker in our spirits than others,
right?
Or don't understand how to view certain things. So I'm just saying, okay, I've been through this. I heard what my brother said, and I was more aware of him because of how I met him, not what he's talking about right now, but the clarity of that position brought me to, well, wow, everybody's open to where we are. But the statement, I could say it a different way.
I think you needed to say it the way that you felt it. But I'll just say this to you, and just in closing with this. Now, I felt you, and not so, and I understand exactly what you were saying, but I say it like this. You say you have a Pentecostal background. I was in the Pentecostal church for a long time. I've been through a lot of denominations, but just think about Acts 2, when the breath came and everybody was speaking in different languages, but everybody understood each other. And I feel like we're coming back into that place of that wind of people really coming together where there's no difference in persons. And that's really how I see this awakening. And that's why the knowledge is coming, so that we can be free, let my people go. so that we can all really come together and not be confounded to the systems that have been placed over us. So I just wanted to just so it's a new day. And that mighty Russian wind came, and we're speaking the same language, although it may sound differently, but ultimately it's about love and unity. That's how
my brothers,
Miss
may
Shayla wanted
I
to
say
say
something to the ladies?
Hold on for a minute.
I want to hear it.
Miss Shayla, you had your hand up. You want to say something, chime in? Renee?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate the viewpoints as I listen, and I studied metaphysics. I've studied Christianity as an ordained minister in Christianity since 1990, and then getting my degree and master's in metaphysics, and understanding that we are these spirits that evolve. However, at the same time, we have been bombarded through Western thinking, and then also thinking of our oppressors. So we are in this mindset that there is inclusion and that we are all the same underneath. And even spirits are not the same. Even in the spirit realm, if somebody ever said to me, and I'm going to tell you, this is the hardest thing, this is the rawest thing. Someone said, I would never want to meet an angel. And at first I used to think, oh, that's so sad. However, the more I study and understand that every entity and energy has their energy and they do not change. Like you say, the spots on a tiger never change. Well, I for sure do not want to be standing next to a spirit that is the sun, because I would be scorched. And so therefore every spirit has its personality, and that personality is from whence they were created. So therefore, it's not this thing, oh, we're all the same underneath. We're all spirit beings underneath. Oh no, I don't think that when I think about my African ancestor of the Umbutu tribe, you see, because we have to go Sankofa. You have to go back to who you really are. Now what they tell you you are, but who are you? And so that's why that sidereal chart is so important, because it's coming from a place of who you are, not who this European person said you were, not who they said this calendar was. And we have to get to a place where we're not trying to accommodate in spaces, because we might be in these spaces with people who have made us accommodate. And quite frankly, I come from an interracial family. If somebody looks at my family, my mother and father, they're like, oh my God, how is she speaking like that? Well, I speak like that because my ancestor comes through me. And that ancestor says you can't deny that, because that is your blood. And they have tried to wipe it out. And they have tried to make you, and I say they, whoever you want to say they is, that decided. But whatever that is that says, but all underneath, we're all the same. No, because the moon and the star and the sun is not the same. They are energy, but they will never be the same. They were created for the purpose in which they were, and to meander and walk and float and shine and burn up as they were intended to do.
Well, the key here is to understand that we're talking about multi-dimensional beings, and we're existing on different levels. And in the three-dimensional world, we appear to be different. In the fourth dimensional world, which is the emotional realm, we share the same feelings. And in the spiritual realm, we are the same spirit. When you get to the spiritual realm, there is no my spirit, his spirit, their spirit is one spirit. So we have to see ourselves in multi-dimensional levels. I appear to be something walking, looking like in the three-dimensional world, but underneath, I can feel you as a person. I can feel your pain. I can feel your love. And as you as a spirit, I understand that. I come
I
from
know
that
where you
same
come
place.
from.
I know
I'm
where you come from.
like-minded. We're
We're like-minded.
like-minded.
Exactly. And
But
so what the chart is doing, what the chart helps you do is to take it from the appearance of what it appears to be to seeing it in seeing yourself objectively projected onto the chart and seeing the different parts of yourself and accepting those different parts of yourself that you may have not been comfortable with. The Taurus self, the Gemini part of ourselves, and to say, I can accept those parts of myself. Maybe I can accept those parts that is personified in somebody else. So the more we accept ourselves, we can accept others. The more we can open ourselves up to the possibilities that I may not have had my own answers, that maybe I can open up to accept somebody else in their questions. So we can, we can expand our view of who we are, not limited or not just shifted from one sign to another sign. It's all of it. And that's why I say, once we start realizing we are the whole horoscope, you're not just one piece looking for another piece in somebody else. We're not fragmented. Just like a car, you don't say I got a Michelin. I'm rolling on Michelins. You don't identify a car by its tires. You don't identify a vehicle by just one piece. You identify it by the whole piece. And so to just pick out one piece, that's where all the fragmenting has brought us to where we are. But that was important too, because we had to understand how the fragments work individually and breaking it all down into pieces. And that's what the rational mind is. That's what our rational mind is for, is to break that oneness down into pieces. But now we're coming back to the place where now the pieces are so fragmented, we've got to put the puzzle back together. And every person, each one of us, has a piece to the puzzle.
right. I want to segue into that right there. You said Eric got a piece of the puzzle, and we putting this puzzle back together. Could you? Well, I'm pretty sure that what you see on your screen right now, everyone. Could you explain this piece of the puzzle?
Yes. Okay, the two different charts.
Yes.
Between the sidereal and the tropical.
Right.
Well, just visually, you can see, help other people see what I'm looking at. Now, the planets are, if you look at them just cursory, just look at both of the charts, the planets are in the exact same place in that dial in the actual horoscope. If everybody can look between both charts, you'll see that the planets are in the exact same place, right?
Right.
Everybody agree? Okay. Now, the difference is the outer wheel is the zodiac. Now you'll see the changes.
Okay. Now, exactly.
They
Now,
didn't look like they were in the
these
same place.
wheels right here. Can y'all see my cursor moving? Do y'all see it?
I don't see it.
You don't see the cursor? Oh.
It's so tiny. We're on our
It's so
phones. It may be hard to see it.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to get into is the direction of these wheels. Okay, which chart we're gonna look at first, Antiq. So you want to look at the tropical or the sidereal? Which one you look at first?
Well, I was just making the comparison between both of them. That when you're looking at them, everything is in the exact same place.
Right.
With just the appearance. The only difference is the zodiac or the signs that they are in, and that is what changes, or that is the appearance of what appears to change. Is that what is rising is going to change. Your rising sign is going to change. Your sun is going to be in a different position, but it's in the chart. is still exactly in the exact same place.
Okay.
The
So in other
houses are
words,
going to change too.
in other words, the houses they kind of like stayed the same, but the zodiac signs,
The houses change. If you
the
look at the
houses change.
lines, yeah, the houses change. The lines, those are the houses. In
Okay.
between the planets, those are the houses. Those change.
Okay.
And signs change. The zodiac signs change. They shift, but the planets are in the
Stay
exact
the
same
same.
place. But they on the chart they stay in the exact same place, but the number or the position of them in the horoscope is in a different place. So instead of Mars being in, if we're looking at the chart, Mars in the tropical is let's see. So Mars in the tropical is at 25 degrees 30 minutes of Virgo. In the sidereal, it goes to 2 degrees Virgo. So that switched about 24 degrees. And so that's what you're looking at when you're dealing with when you're dealing visually with both charts. They're going to the position of the planets physically is going to be in the same place, but everything around the planets are going to switch, and that's going to make the planet appear to be in a different place.
Okay.
So it's going to have a different emphasis. It's going to have a different expression.
Anybody got any questions on that?
I'm just learning.
Okay. Continue then. Continue on. Since we, I got a question. Okay.
Yes.
I do understand that these are two different. This is a tropical and this is a sidereal. So explain to me why the sidereal says 11:01 a.m. GMT, then the tropical says 5:01 a.m. GMT.
Okay.
Well, GMT is the what is it? What it's called? It's the universal time.
Okay.
So what you're reading is the bottom part. That's where the asteroids are. But if you go up top to where it says universal time, it's the second line. It says date of birth, and then it says universal time, and you'll see that same number. You see it there?
Okay, yeah, that's what that is. Okay,
Yeah.
UT/GMT. All right, I
Right.
got you.
That's what that means. Universal time, 11:01. It's basically just the universal time that all the countries and everybody has agreed that that's where they're starting from when they start using when they're doing the plus and minuses an hour or 2 hours, or when they're doing what do they call that, the
Sidereal.
time change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
I
When they're
I
doing
get it
when they're
now.
doing the time change, when they're doing the time change, that's what they're changing it from. They're using that universal time, and they're operating 2 or 3 hours. Where the East Coast is 3 hours ahead. I mean, 3 hours ahead. West Coast is 3 hours behind. 3 hours behind the East Coast, and the East Coast is maybe 3 hours or 4 or 5 hours behind universal time. So as we go around the globe, they're basically starting from one place and they're moving around to get back to universal time. So that's what that is.
Okay. So this shows a big difference in from 11 to 5. That's what kind of.
Right. So that's what that means, that it is universal time is at 11:01, but at central time is 5:01. It's actually the same time, you're just looking at time in two different places.
Two different places.
So
Okay.
so you're just right. You're just calculating it in two different places. If we're looking at it, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, if we're looking at it at where we are at the universal time place, it'll be the same chart if we moved over to central time. That's what that means.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're not getting two different charts. We're doing the same chart, just that the time is just different.
Got it.
Okay. Okay. One more question. Maybe this probably going to get kind of interesting. Okay. Based on the sidereal chart, okay, over here. Tell me something about this person over here. Is there anything that you can see where the planets and stars are at in this natal chart and bring out some highlights about this individual chart? Can you do that?
Well, what I do when I first go to a chart, I look at what is the dominant planet of the chart, and that's usually when a planet is in its own sign.
Okay.
Which means the sign that it naturally rules. So if I scan down this person's chart, only thing that steps out as a dominant planet would be Juno at the bottom, the asteroid. Juno, because it's in Libra, because Juno co-rules Libra. The way I do astrology, co-rules Libra. I was explaining that to you and Delisha the other night. Venus rules the social aspect of relationships, and Juno rules the intimacy and the depth of relationships. So Juno is in its own sign, so that would be a powerful planet that would rule that sign. I mean, that would rule the chart. Then I will look at what planet is in an exalted sign, which means it's in a stronger place than its own ruling sign. So the difference would be between a rulership, dominance, and a exalted. When a planet is exalted, it's like when you're at home, you're in a place where you're comfortable. You're at home. Everything, you know where everything is, and everything is familiar. When you move to an exalted place, that means you're in a better place than your home, which means you have not only what you know you have the abundance of more than what you want. You have not just one house. Your house is a mansion. You have people working for you. You can they're waiting on you. They're waiting on you hand and foot. You don't have to suffer or lack for anything. That's the exaltation of a planet. You have more power the planet that is exalted has more access and more ability to do more things. So first we're looking at Juno as strong in Libra. Then we look at Saturn, which is exalted in Libra. So that emphasizes Libra in this chart. Saturn in Libra is exalted. And so when you have Saturn in Libra, this is a person who is very disciplined, very fair-minded, very and very much relationship-oriented. Not just relationship for winning or egotistical jockeying for a strong position, but a person who's always going to consider and weigh the rightness and the fairness of any decision or anything that goes on. This person would be a great judge of character, a great authority figure, because you can trust this person. So Another planet that is exalted is the moon. The moon in Taurus is also exalted. The moon deals with emotions and it deals with attachments. Taurus represents tangible resources. So you have a person when the moon is in Taurus, the moon is at home in Taurus, and it gets and a person, this person enjoys his or her, well, we know it's a her. This person enjoys the things that they have. They they love their home, they love their family, they have healthy attachments. Healthy attachments, which means uh, they're not overly attached. They're not uh, they're not stingy. They're very welcoming. They're very giving of their attachments, and they share their attachments. So the sharing comes in with, like I said, with that Saturn Libra. So we got the fairness of Libra, and we got the person who's very resourceful of Taurus. And so a person who is a fair-minded person would share what they have with many people and will make sure nobody went without. So that would stand out to me as the main component of the chart.
Wow.
That's Taurus. That's a Taurus rise. Taurus, the moon is in Taurus, yeah, so to say.
Yes, the moon is in Taurus. Right. So, like I say, with the moon, you're always dealing with the past. So the past, and this person was were, if they were, they exhibited Taurus attributes. So they're about building resources, building a tangible place, building a home, being grounded. So that moon in Taurus is very healthy and very secure in their groundedness and in their resources. So as in the past sense, they were a Taurus. In the present sense, the sun is in Virgo. In the future would be the earth in Pisces. In Pisces, the earth is in Pisces. And I get that by looking at the sun, and I look at the opposite sign of that sun at 19 degrees Virgo. The earth would be at 19 degrees Pisces. So their earth sign is in Pisces, which means their future path is in becoming a Piscean type of person, which is very, very creative, artistic, and what's the word? Non-traditional, non-conformist, and just following the beat of their own drum.
Interesting.
That sound about right?
Sheila?
Oh, Sheila left.
She left?
Yeah.
Like
Hey,
45 minutes
but
ago.
you know, I could confirm that about Taurus women. I was married to a Taurus woman.
But remember that was her sun sign in Taurus. We're not dealing with their sun in Taurus. That their sun would probably, that person was probably in Aries.
Okay, but those attributes that you were talking about,
right,
and those stable-minded forces, like I was attracted to that. You know, I'm a Virgo. I don't know how this stuff comes together, but that made sense to me because those things I was attracted to, and in that sense. But you said something that made some sense to me when you said that they stay in the past. Did you say that?
Oh no, I didn't say they stay in the past. I said I don't. I talked about
That
the
they
past.
relate from their past, or how did you say that?
I said that from the past they bring over Taurus energy.
Yeah,
Their
I
past
agree.
energy is connected to Taurus.
I agree. I agree with that. You have to be a very responsible and stable-minded person to be with a Taurus. Um, I feel in any person that we are, because Tauruses bring um, a bit of like they're repetitious when it comes to like wanting to see the same type of thing happens every day, and when they're not used to change. And when you deal like when you're dealing with building a bigger piece, change is sort of difficult, when it
Well,
comes
change.
to go ahead.
What Taurus is, these are, when you look at the signs, they are archetypes. And archetypes are basically the general attributes of this expression of this energy. So you can have an emphasis in Taurus, or you can have a planet, or you can have a certain part of your life in the area of Taurus. And the general attributes of Taurus is about being grounded. It is
Right.
tangible, the first tangible physical sign after Aries. Aries is the seed sign that plants the seeds. And in Taurus, the seed grows. So Taurus represents the most physical and earthy type of person or energy in our charts and in ourselves. So
Wow.
yeah, when we're in our Taurus energy, we're the most grounded and nurturing. It's also the sign of the physical mother. The universal mother is connected to the planet of Neptune. Neptune represents love. So with and these are two octaves of each other, with the physical mother being the physical representation of the universal mother giving out love to everyone, the physical mother giving that physical nurturing tangible love to her child and her family. So
Yeah.
those two energies kind of they're two expressions of the same. They're two degrees of the same energy. One is universally given out to the world, and one is personally given to their own family. And I changed the rulership of Taurus. Traditionally, astrology uses Venus, and Venus, and they try to say that Venus rules Taurus. Venus, like I said, is a social planet that naturally rules Libra, which deals in social and socializing. Taurus energy deals in the energy of Sirius, the planet Sirius, and you'll see that in the bottom of both of these charts. And in the chart in question, that Sirius, her Sirius is in Sagittarius.
Okay.
So that would mean, yeah.
I don't mean to stop you. Sheila, we were
No,
just speaking
That man is
about
awesome.
you, and your line had dropped.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to go tend to something. No, I do take care of my mom.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do understand that.
Yeah.
Well, how much time? How much time can you can put in with us right now? 'Cause we're about to go through this.
Probably about 15 minutes. I got to go tend to my granddaughter in a few minutes. Her mom got to go to work.
Okay, I just wanted you to be here. Just wanted to be here. Um, I apologize, brother Antiq. So I thought that she was still online.
no. When you have it recorded, she can listen to the taping later on.
Yes, you can read.
That's it.
Yes,
That's
that's
it.
it right there. So can you continue with anything else? So I just want her to be present.
Okay. Well, the main thing we talked about with your chart, Sheila, was that the dominant energy of your chart is Juno, which is relationships, and Saturn, which is exalted in relationships. And we were saying that you are very fair-minded, very much into being fair in relationships, being a good judge of others and relationships to each other. And we're also talking about your earthiness and your moon in Taurus, which represents your mother qualities, taking care of your mother, as you said, taking care of the
Right.
people that are close to you. You're very nurturing in that sense, and
Yep.
very non-stingy with your resources. You wanna nurture everybody who's close to you. And that's the personal mother energy of Taurus. That moon in Taurus represents those Taurus qualities that you brought over from past lives. And
Right.
it's exalted in Taurus because you're not attached to your things. You see your
Right.
things as purposeful, and if you have it, you want to use it to help others and to help those around you. That's what they're for.
Right.
When a person becomes stingy and overly attached to their resources, and it's time for them to let them go, that's when you'll see the moon probably in Scorpio, and that person would probably be a little bit more controlling and using their resources to control others. Instead, yours is exalted in Taurus, which means you use your resources to nurture and to make sure that people are
Yes.
taken care of.
Yep, that's me. That is definitely me.
Now, we also have the ruler of Taurus. Like I said, some people use Venus. I use Sirius. Sirius in the sidereal chart is in Sagittarius. Now, Sirius in Sagittarius means you bring that mother energy of Taurus into Sagittarius. Sagittarius deals with people from different backgrounds and foreign places. So you like to nurture. Not only do you take care of people in your immediate environment, you like to go far and wide and take care of people in many different places. You probably nurture people either coming from other planets, other places, or you go to other places and you become like a mother figure or a nurturer there too. So those things are just step out, and those are the things that I start off with when I look at a chart. I look at the dominant parts. I look at the parts that are the. So another part that we're looking at with Taurus in your chart, if you direct your attention to the chart on the left, that's the sidereal chart, and we have that moon, which is the crescent, that's in Taurus. We can see that right there, right?
Right.
Now, all those qualities I just expressed about Taurus and being exalted in, the moon and exalted in Taurus. Now, as soon as I look at the chart, I see another symbol close to Taurus. That's called the South Node. And let me see, 27. Okay, so that South Node is also in Taurus. So when we starting to see a little pattern going on with Taurus being the past. So we have two energies that represent the path right next to each other in the same sign. We have the South Node, which is both, when you're talking about the nodes, you're dealing with the past and the present nodes, and they're called the moon nodes. The nodes is basically the imaginary line of a planet, east and west. It's the exact same degrees, 180 degrees apart, and it just shows where the moon rises and where it sets. So those nodes represents the moon nodes in the past. The south node of the moon represents the past, and we also have the moon, which represents the past. So you have a double energy of Taurus representing that past. So you're coming from many lifetimes of Taurus energies of taking care of people.
Wow.
This is why you naturally step into the mother role. Everywhere you go, you're gonna nurture somebody. You're gonna take care of somebody whether they like it or not.
That's crazy. It's so on point, because when I worked, before I retired, just about everybody I worked with was calling me mama, even the managers.
That's it right there. Taurus is mama energy there.
Yeah.
So what we see right there is that since it's on the south node, that shows that it's 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 the energy you're leaving behind in this lifetime. What you are having to do is evolve out of that Taurus energy and move into Scorpio, which is exactly 180 degrees opposite of Taurus. So uh, you have a natural, like I said, a natural automatic expression of Taurus energy that you've got to leave behind, because you can get stuck in being taking care of everybody. And even though you are happy to do it and you know how to do it, some people will put you in that role and try to keep you in that role, which limits your growth. So
Yeah, that's true.
that was where you feel like sometimes you just want to not have to take care of everybody, even though you know how. So that's where
That's
you have
funny, because
to.
you know what? I just took a 2-week break from taking care of my mom just this
There
past
you go.
week.
That's it. Because
Yep.
because you know how to do it so well, people will dump their Taurus energy onto you and be like,
Yeah.
hey, take care of this too, and take care of somebody else.
Right.
So as you can see, you know how to do it, but
Mm-hmm.
you no longer have to do it. And in this lifetime, the North Node represents your future energy, and the Earth represents your future self. So when we look at Scorpio as your future path, and we look at your Earth self, which is opposite your Sun is in Virgo, and your Earth is in Pisces. So your Pisces self, which is you have a creative niche that you want to get that you want to get out there with and break the mold of being the caretaker of everybody. And that's the path you got to follow. You got to follow that Pisces energy and become the creative artist that you've always desired to be. I don't know if it's singing, painting, something. You're an artist at heart.
I am an artist. I like
And
singing and dancing and painting.
there you go. There you go. See that, and you can't do that when you're taking care of people. So when people try to stick you in that caretaking mode, that blocks you from your future path of being the creative artist that your future path that you're destined to be.
That is the best reading I've ever gotten.
I
Yeah,
told
my
you.
astrologist told me I was being blocked somehow. She couldn't see how, but I was being blocked. That's what she told me.
It's not really a block. It's more of an attachment.
Yeah, she said it was a spiritual block, though. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
nothing
Yeah,
directly. A spiritual block.
right. That's it. It's the block is more or less you needing, I guess, permission or the green light. See, as the nurturer, you want to make sure everybody is ready. You want to make sure everybody is nurtured to health. You want to make sure everybody can stand on their own 2 feet. And
Right.
and until everybody is at that point, you feel like you can't leave.
Right. Exactly. That's
And
true.
this is exactly why you have to leave, because they can't come into their own sense of self if you're there.
Right.
Because when you're there, they're gonna lean on you.
Oh boy, don't I know it. Don't I
So
know it. That's why I'm going now to nurture somebody else. Away from my house.
that's the challenge of the Taurus, the nurturer.
Right.
See, the mother energy, her purpose is not to take care of the child till the child is a man and still need to be taken care of. You nurture somebody until they're mature and healthy and able to take care of themselves. Then
True.
you got to push them out the nest, and you gotta let go and not want to keep that nest waiting for them to return.
Right.
So they
I like it.
can't come back.
Awesome.
Oh.
Thank
You gotta
you.
you gotta shut it down when you nurture somebody to health, push them out, and they'll find their way. And you, on the other hand, it's time for you to nurture. It's time for you to nurture that vision you got burning inside of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Thank you so much. That is very much appreciated.
You're welcome.
And here I am thinking I was being selfish by thinking so.
Right, and that's what happens to the person who's the nurturer. They eventually, when they start looking out for themselves, they feel selfish. And the people that are attached to you, taking care of them, are going to say that you're selfish. But
Right.
don't listen to them. You've got to know when you reach the point when you can't help somebody else and you can't do anything else. And that's
Right.
when you got to be securing yourself to cut that apron string and say, hey baby, I did all I could. I did everything I was supposed to do. It's on
Right.
you. I'm giving you the key to your home so you can live in it and do what you want to do. Your life is yours. I'm only supposed to take you from A to B. After that, see you.
To 19 years old, huh?
Right. Crazy.
When you're 19 years
Crazy.
old, your parents
Yep.
literally give you the keys to your house, which is the
There you
body,
go.
your mental construct. Now do
There you
something.
go.
Right.
And 19 is one full revolution of the North Node, North and South
Okay.
nodes. When it returns back to the sign and position that of when you were born, that's when we are basically are mature and ready to take it and start our own lives.
Right. Wow, that's awesome.
And that was just one aspect. Like I say, that was just one aspect that we dealt with. We only just
Right.
said about
One aspect. Gosh,
yeah,
there's many layers, huh?
yeah,
Yes.
a whole bunch of layers.
Yes.
Yep, because I feel like I'm dealing with a whole bunch of layers sometimes.
That's it. But see, that's the Scorpio part. That Scorpio path in you is to peel back the layers and reveal the fruit. And the fruit is your identity, your creative identity, and your artistic expression.
Yep. Yep. Then I love to cook, and I'm really good at that too. So I've been torn between, selling food here lately. It's been on my mind.
Oh yeah, I mean, anything that supports you doing for yourself and not for others, you're on the right path.
Yeah. Wow, thank
And
you.
don't feel a bit what's the word?
Guilty?
A bit guilty. There you go. Do not feel a bit guilty for taking care of yourself.
Well, I won't then. Shoots.
Yeah.
How about that? Well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Good, you all. I love y'all. I gotta get out of here.
Okay.
Go babysit my little princess. Thank you. I'll
Love you.
see y'all next week. Love you too.
Yes.
And I'm going. Sheila, did she go already? Oh,
No.
I'm going to send you your Earth sign card to read. I'm going to give it to Ray and Delisha, and they're going to give it to you. You're actually the 6 of Spades, which is a very powerful card. So
wow.
I'll send that over to you.
Also, I want to say this, Antiq, is it good for I was going to give her your numbers just in case you may want to call and get that one-on-one.
Okay.
Hey, that's cool too.
I'll do that. But also, I want to ask you this, Antiq. So please drop your email in the chat box. So if anybody else has any questions, they can email you.
Okay, I don't know how to do that.
Oh,
but
okay.
Oh, I see it.
Thank you all. Love you all.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
It say chat. Okay, I think it says send to everyone. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, send it to everyone. And if anybody got any more further questions, hit him up. Brother Antiq Soul is here in LA. But I know some of y'all are in other states, but he's right here in LA. He's right here.
Yes.
And it's kind of cool.
I have one quick question.
Yeah.
I have one quick question, if I may.
Yeah. Please.
So, so how does the Sidereal calendar, zodiac, how does that relate to the Aquarian age? So is it still saying that we're still moving into this Aquarian age? Are the things that we hear about the fact that, you know, we are moving to a new age, are those things what you would say still true?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The Aquarian age, yeah, we're moving to the Aquarian age, and the sun is actually about maybe 2 degrees Pisces, and is moving backwards into Aquarius. So it's in the cusp of Aquarius, and it takes about, I think I put that in, oh, no, I put that in a post I put in, but it takes about 72 years for the sun to move 1 degree. So it's when we was talking about whether or not the sun is moving, that's where it's moving. But as you can see, 72 years is one lifetime for us. It is for most of us, you know. For 72 years, a lot of people either live to 72, or some people don't go past 72. But that's how fast, or that's how slow the sun is moving. So it's moving, and it's 2 degrees away. So by the time 2150 comes, that's when we'll fully be in the Aquarian age. But until that time, we're still transitioning out of Pisces, which is about beliefs, into Aquarius, which is about information.
Okay.
So yeah, we're moving it.
All right, thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Anybody else got any more questions? Because
I got a question.
Yeah, we had 9. Go for it.
Yes, please.
You said Pisces is about beliefs and Aquarius is about it broke up.
Oh, okay. Pisces, Aquarius is about information.
Oh, okay.
And the difference is now that they call it the information age, is because Aquarius deals with information, and information that is universal to everybody. In Pisces, that information was hidden, and it was purposely hidden in what is it to it was purposely hidden so that people would just believe and not know. And now it's not enough to just believe. People want to know. Yeah. That's why the powers that be are kind of rushing to try to find new ways to control us, because the more we know, the freer we become. So they're trying to find new scare tactics into controlling us. But you know, as you can see, a lot, you know, people are just rebelling, and the more we know, we learn the treachery of the lies, of the purposefully misguiding of us, and people are not having it. So Aquarius deals with taking personal responsibility. The more information you gain, the more responsible you become personally, and the more we all become universally, when each person is responsible for their own lives and their own selves.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's good. That's good. So you said that we're currently 2 degrees Pisces?
Yeah, to about 2 degrees Pisces. And
when the last
like
2 degrees of Pisces before we're fully in. So you're saying what, like 140 years? You'll be full Aquarius. So
right now we're about a little less than 140 years, about 130 years. We're at 2020. So by 2150, that's when the Aquarian age will be full into effect. And there is a video I sent Ray that he looked up. It's called "The Sun, SON of God is the Sun, SUN of God."
Yeah,
that's the video. That's a video on YouTube that breaks down the Aquarian age, breaks down the precession of the equinox. It breaks down in a very clear, precise way. I mean, it's easy to listen to. So I don't know. Do you got that link?
Well, yeah,
Put that up?
I can send it to everyone here. I can.
Okay,
I'll put it on my Facebook page.
What is it? The SON of God is SUN of God.
That's it.
That's correct. Yep, that's exactly it.
Yeah. And
you send the group?
I'm sorry.
Didn't you post that video in the group too?
Yeah, I posted.
It's like 30. It's about 30 minutes.
Yeah, I posted it inside the
30 minutes.
messenger group as well. But I can do a repost and I can share it, so everyone can get it and check it out. Because it really just ties in everything that he's saying. Because Western philosophy took us off to that divine clock. What I'm saying is that the video that's we're talking about, it really explains everything what he's saying and it fits right together, because Western philosophy took us off divine timing. They changed all that, so just by us talking about this and looking at it a different way, I feel that I know I've been getting realigned.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of mystical that I talk on the one-on-one with, that's, I'm just like, we are mighty people. And I'm not just saying just us, I'm saying everyone, if we just tap into it.
Yeah,
well,
I think that's what they call the Gnostic, right? That was the Gnostic teachings, that the books that was compiled by King James, who supposedly which I'm like, wait, but
exactly, and that's exactly the subject that video covers. Okay. And just this format is a very Aquarian format. The fact that we are just people from random places sharing knowledge, that's the Aquarian age.
Okay.
See,
and is he using the Sidereal version?
I'm sorry?
Sidereal?
Sidereal, is he using the Sidereal science, or do you think, how do you equate that when you're listening to these different videos?
Well, this video, it doesn't go into, I don't think it talks about the tropical or the sidereal version, but it's just dealing with basically with some symbology of Jesus and how Jesus was replaced, in the Piscean age, Jesus replaced the sun. The physical sun, the sun, and that's what it breaks down, and how in the Piscean age it used that information to have people looking for a person instead of using the knowledge of astrology and astronomy to understand themselves.
Right, because most Judeo-Christians say don't study astrology, and that's how they did it, by saying there's going to be a Messiah, instead of saying look at the stars to really see what's above and what's below. Okay.
Right. And that's exactly why they did it. They did that purposefully so that you would just believe and not know. So now it's about knowing and getting rid of the beliefs of what somebody in a pulpit told you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get one of your charts. So let me get your address or email on there. Okay, you guys.
All right.
I appreciate your efforts, fam.
Brother Ray, can you put the slide up there that has the sidereal designations, please?
Oh yeah.
This one?
No, it was the
blue one. The blue one.
Yeah, that one. Mm-hmm.
This
one? Yes, that is.
Oh, you're gonna get the time.
Right. I wanted to just be able to get a snapshot of that. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. And as stated before, that is the reason why we really do need to look at the sidereal chart in it. And the more that we allow ourselves to adjust to the sidereal, I don't even want to call it a concept, just our being, then we begin to step into a power in our speaking that reflects all of this, the strength and the power that we are, not that we're supposed to have, but that we are. And then we stop being afraid, and we don't tiptoe around certain folks, because I'm not tiptoeing around nobody. Too long.
Right.
So I'm gonna speak the same way today at this moment as I would have spoken an hour ago.
Definitely.
It's like because as far as I'm concerned, and probably it is what it is. But I was just shy of saying, every time some people come into the room, all they're there to do is take, because that's all they ever did, and they take and twist it up so you don't know who you are.
Right.
So this sidereal chart is so important because it gets us back into it gets us in alignment so that we step into the power of even our speech, and our tongue heals, it kills. What did they used to say? A blessing and a malediction. They didn't want us to know how to use it for a malediction because that malediction would be on some other folks.
Yeah.
Like I'm not the one today.
Well, you would have really enjoyed the article I sent to Ray called According to the Goddess. You know that?
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that was
good.
You
read
that. Yes, I did.
Put that in the chat. Y'all stop playing.
Did you like that, Alicia?
Yeah, I read.
Did you like?
I loved it. I'm like, now I gotta go meet her. So you keep. I got so many open new files that I gotta like delete and purge these other things. It's like, no, this is a new foundation. You know.
Right.
Yeah, you better put that in the chat right now.
All day long.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need the 411, the 511, the 611.
Just an overview. Everything you just said about the being in alignment. That's what happened with the astrology chart. It was aligned when the natives of every land were living according to the matriarchal way of life. Everything was in alignment. The matriarchal way of life taught truth. It taught about the feminine energy, and the feminine energy is only spiritual energy.
Well, brother, how do I say your name?
Antiq.
Okay, Antiq. What I was gonna say, that totally makes sense. And I'm not trying to be funny, but that woman carries the baby for 9 months. She can feel when she feels energy. She feels time. She feels time. She feels when things are supposed to move or stand still. So it's not to say that the man doesn't, but he's the product of the woman of time. So it's just it only makes sense that the maternal lineage would be what truth is, because they are functioning on time.
And connection to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
That's feminine energy, is being connected to the universe. And in order for the patriarchy to gain control and power, it had to disconnect us from the universe, disconnect us from ourselves, disconnect us from the mother, disconnect us from everything that we were, in order to create an alternative universe with alternative laws that took us off course and made us imbalance.
Right.
Wow.
And people buy into that. I know. I can say I have. Not no more.
Well, it was forced. It was taught.
Yeah, it's kind of forced.
They made sure that the information, the knowledge of the temples of the goddess were trashed and broken and just discarded and replaced with worship of the god instead of the goddess. That's where the demonization of the feminine in women came into being.
Yeah, but if we break that down, Brother Antiq, so any further on that, the woman being goddess, there was ever no such thing. She's God. And they didn't want to apply that because, see, she represents masculine and feminine. So she's God. There is no goddess. There is no death.
I like that.
Well,
so thank you. So we are God, not goddess. And they misapplied. Or if we wanted to use
they lied.
Right.
Not misapplied. They lied.
Right.
Well, it's a little bit. Can I say something real quick? It's a little more plain sight if you look at the chat. God is what they're really saying. It's not God D-D-S. It's God is.
God is.
So there's a yin and yang in the whole thing. It just took it out and made it like, let's spell it different so you can be stupid about it.
Right.
There you go. That makes sense. Yeah.
If you were
good point.
At the particular book that they consider the holy book, well, we know that those are allegorical stories and also mixed in some truth of some historical events. Right. So we can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. And so I love how there's this nuance of mixed information and information when it comes to, and he said, if you're going to crawl on your belly for all the days of your life, and then none will know your name. And so
I remember that.
none knew that it was a woman, that no one knew that so-called Lilith's name actually means dark black creature. Well, who's the dark black creature? Was this was African woman? You see, so there's this historical story.
Link.
Yeah.
Right. Demonized.
Go back to what Lilith's name actually meant. You know, so
it's about confusing. It's about confusion. It's about, like you said, taking a little bit of the truth and mixing it with a lot of the lies, and to eventually to where you just don't know which way is up, and then so you'll end up accepting what they say because you're confused. Because when you know who you are and you know where you stand, there is no confusion.
There is no confusion.
You know, right.
Hey, I like to say, hey, I love you all.
Wait. Listen. Before you do that, listen.
Wait. Before you say anything,
They used to say, God is good. God is good. God is great. So there's a goddess that's called good. There's a goddess called great, and all the positive.
Yes.
God is
good. God is great.
And wait, before we
Will,
go,
stop it, Will.
Miss Shayla, no.
Will,
I'm just saying, like,
come on, Will, why you always doing that, man?
He likes to stir up the pot to get the truth out. I gotta say one thing. See, Lilith came up in my chart, and I'm supposed to be looking into Lilith, Michelle. So when you said that right now, I know I'm calling you tomorrow because I said, because I gotta know, because I always thought Lilith was something weird because of the depiction that Europeans made of her. So I kind of stayed away from it. But you just opened up another thing here, and I'm like, okay, I got to know.
That's it. I thought y'all coordinated that. I didn't even know that she
This is raw. This is live.
This is totally unfiltered.
By the way, Reverend Amadi got a question for you, Antiq Soul.
Yeah, this is real quick.
Yes.
I noticed on your chart, sometimes some of the dates like overlap. Like Aries, you said is from May 15th, and then Taurus starts on May 15th. So, like, is that because that you're both?
April 15th, May 15th.
Well, so it says Taurus May 15th as well as Aries May 15th. You see what I'm saying?
Let's go back and check it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Taurus May 15th to June 15th. Okay, and Aries May. Yes, I see you. Correct. So
in the same way with Gemini and Cancer, and the same way with Leo and Virgo.
I guess that's when they bring in the time aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know, AM or PM. That's when everybody, when you do a chart or we do a natal chart, they want to know the time you were born as well.
Okay, so I'm looking at it again. Now explain that again. It when you say it goes to May 15th and then Taurus picks up at May 15th. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Now, well, when they're talking about that day, what they're doing is calculating the sun moving into the next sign, and on that day, it could be in the morning time or the evening time. So because like I said, sometimes since the sun is not 365 days, it's a little less. So sometimes it's going to be earlier, and sometimes it's going to be even the next day. So the times vary a little bit, but they're looking at basically a general time of Aries, a transition into Taurus, because the energy is picking up, moving into Taurus from Aries. So the energy is becoming less on May 15th in Aries and picking up more steam in Taurus. So that's why there seems to be an overlap.
Okay.
Because like Ray said, it's about the time. That's the key. You're welcome.
I got you.
Hey, I want to say something. Can y'all show us some love and wherever you got our link from on Facebook or Instagram, go back to it, like it, and give a comment. Say that it was cool. Say whatever you want to say. Just show us some attention that you did get something from tonight, and hopefully every Thursday you get something from what
All right.
not us, but not us as in me and my wife, that what we bring. We is all of us is bringing.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you. Thank you for changing my life. In a moment.
Yeah, you guys.
God is good. God is
God
great.
is.
God is good.
God is great. Don't be late.
Anybody got any last minute questions? Because we've been going at it for like 3 hours.
We sure have.
I don't like we could go some more, but I'll let you.
Yeah, and if y'all don't mind me sitting here eating your face, because I'm hungry, man.
Well, picture.
Any last minute questions? Anything? Insights?
Anything stands out?
Well, Dr. Phil Valentine's been talking about, maybe not the Sidereal directly like the brother is talking about, but he's always said that everything they said is the opposite. So Lilith being the bad is actually like, oh, you should look at Lilith and figure out what her attributes and contributions are. So I think everything that supposedly is bad is actually got a lot of good in it when you understand how to use the tools. Like most people are afraid of negative energy because they don't know how to utilize it.
That's it. Because energy is not positive or negative. It's how you use it that gives it that title. If you use it to hurt others, it's negative. If you use it to help others, it's positive. So
right. And if you just ignore it, sometimes you don't know what it's going to do. It's going to randomly be positive, randomly be negative, and then everybody's afraid of it.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're right about that. Definitely.
That's where a lot of the masses are stuck, because it just sounds so random, and when you even show it to them, they do that. What are they? Cognitive dissonance.
Right.
There's that word.
Like I said, the goal was to create confusion so that people wouldn't even know even when it's right and it's right in their face, and you hand it to them, they still say, "I don't know about it. I'm just gonna stick with what I know," and they'll just hold. And
when they don't know nothing.
I told Ray a quote that I always use. It says, some people prefer a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven.
Yeah. That was so deep.
That's deep.
I said, wow.
Yeah, that's it, because people will accept it because it's familiar and they know it, and will reject it because it's unfamiliar, even though it's exactly what they want, and even though it's good for.
Wow, that's crazy.
Brother Antiq Soul, I honor and I praise you for coming through and really shedding light on this.
Yes.
And really helping me and helping my wife really just understand this stuff. Because, ever since that day that, I talked to you and the light cut on in my head. And I came and I told her, and she said, wow, what's up with you? I said, shit, a damn light cut on. And the stuff just fit, and it seems so real. And I want to use wherever I can to help you promote what you're doing. I want to see you get that program written up, what you're trying to do, so you can have your own natal chart. That's the Antiq Soul chart. I want to be a part of that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Put your Cash App up so we could be donators and stuff, or get your your Fund Me page so that people can buy their subscriptions early, and you can have the money before you even create it. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
That's what
I like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Let's put our hands together to get this to happen.
Let's do that.
Yes.
Is real. So I sent you a link, Delicia, for this.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I sent you just a little note in your Facebook.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
On Lilith? Wait, you ain't sharing, you ain't hiding the Lilith info, is you?
Listen, that's on my, look, you gotta get your chart done. That's on my chart. You check yours out.
Where universe? Wait a minute, Lilith's out here. You know, black woman on her belly. That's different.
Reciprocity is a big deal, and so, anyways, we got to learn how to be okay with the so-called tithing. That when our brothers and sisters are doing something, we should give into that because their energy. So, anyways, I said you should have already gotten a notice from your Cash App. So thank you very much. So,
wow, thank
You know,
you.
can I say one last thing?
Right.
Go ahead. Who was talking?
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Bill.
No, I was saying, so in studying the goddess energy for a couple of decades now, one of the things that we find in the Nigerian Ifa tradition, which a lot of people link back to Kemet and all of that, is that there were the holy mothers whose names were never to be spoken because they're trickster energy. And once you say their name, then they'll always move the post on you, right? As soon as you figure out this one part, then they're like, oh, let's move the post again. So I think what happened is that the European, their small mind was like, oh, we ain't got to worry about those taboos. And they introduced these names. So you have all the goddesses, right? God is good, God is great.
Oh, wow.
And Lilith. Then you have like some of these holy mothers, like sadness, despair. I call them the Uda sisters, the Shuddas, the Kuddas, the Wuddas. So you have all these spells that are in action, right? All the spiritual energy is verbs. Verbs are spiritual energies. Oh, I'm a painter.
Okay.
So I'm painting. Well, when you're painting, you're in spirit. When you're reading, you're in spirit. So all the things that can turn to verbs in action is where you find these spirits, these forces of nature, the goddess energy.